As I look out at the lake in the mornings, there's a certain calmness and stillness that's comforting. Internally, I want to be the lake, with a happy, warm smile like the sun on the surface. There will be waves and chop throughout the day, but every night I'll arrive back at a place to comfort me back to that morning stillness. And that was kind of how I felt like if I could maintain composure and be myself throughout every day, even though there was going to be some choppy moments, if I could come back to that place of who I am and my intention of being grateful for being in the position that I was in, that would carry me through the weekend, and it did indeed.
For individual event 1, I'd like you athletes to turn around and face the screen. Run 400, 3 legless rope climbs, 7 snatches, 4 rounds, 4 times. Go warm up.
First workout, it's awesome. CrossFit, run, climb, snatch. I'm excited. The run went just as I expected it. The legless rope climbs actually were a little tougher than I expected them to. That was what slowed me down probably more than anything. So I slowed myself down a little bit there, made sure I got them done. Overall, I took a 17th place on that first workout, which is not amazing, but not bad considering it was out of 150 guys. Event 1 is done. It went pretty well. I'm gonna just celebrate the wins. I didn't actually win, but I also didn't get cut, and I feel like I performed the best that I could. Got through a running mixed with high power type of workout, which has not been my jam in the past. We've been working on it a lot, so to take, I don't know what place I took, somewhere in like the teens range, I'm okay with. Made the cut for the next event, and hopefully all the good stuff is coming up for me in the future.
So we just watched half of the field get cut. What was that like?
Yeah, I did not enjoy that process. It felt good to move on, but I don't know, I empathize with a lot of those dudes. I have a heavy heart. I almost am tearing up right now thinking about some of the guys that are my friends, some guys I don't even know, but I know how hard they work to get here. So to get cut after the first event, especially when you are not expecting it, it's just heavy. So I don't know, tried to go around, shake everybody's hand and tell them to be proud of themselves for being here and keep their heads up. So I hope they do and don't get too down, can enjoy the rest of the week. So after they made the cuts, they sat us all back down and announced the second workout. It was short and sweet. We all knew that there was a small window. Every time I saw a small window, I don't like to speculate much, but I thought, all right, we're gonna be doing some sort of 1 rep max. Couldn't have been more wrong.
Stand by.
Here they come, running and gunning down.
I started drooling when I heard that. I really liked that workout. Rowing is something that I've gotten better at in the last few years. Kettlebell push press, I didn't think were gonna be too difficult. And then the handstand walk, that's probably one of my favorite movements in CrossFit. So I was looking forward to that, thinking that it would be a place I'd be able to make up some ground. Little did I know that I would be one of the first people off the row. The kettlebell push press threw me off a little bit. I think that's standard. I probably got about 5 or 6 no reps, but I think everybody else did as well. And it must have tired out my shoulders more than I expected because I kicked up for that first handstand walk, which was only 44 feet. And man, that line could not come soon enough. I was expecting to be able to potentially do 2 unbroken segments, and I barely made it through the first just because of the fatigue in my shoulders. So I made it to the first line, kicked back down and shook my shoulders off, and that was kind of a reality check. Same experience on the second one, waited a little bit longer to make sure that I wouldn't fall down on the third.
Ben Smith and Noah Ohlsen crossing that finish line.
Played it a little safer there, ended up taking a 7th place finish overall, which I don't want to say that I was disappointed in, but I was hoping for a top 5, top 3 finish on that one, being that it had a big chunk of handstand walks. So I wrapped up day 1 with a 16th place finish on event 1, a 7th place finish on event 2, which culminated for a 6th place overall finish on the day. Nothing too crazy, but I was looking forward to the rest of the competition, starting off in a decent spot. It went good, but not great. Yeah, I feel okay about it. I would have liked to like crush it. Like if you can crush a can like all the way, I just kind of like crinkled it up. But I'm good. It's been a great day. I'm happy.
Awesome.
Onward and upward.
I think Noah's in a great spot. Great attitude, obviously. Nothing went exactly how he wanted, but that's how it is every year. And I think his response this year is very wise.
For the rest of the weekend.
I'm excited. I just feel really at peace because I know that he has a healthier mindset than he's ever had.
I decided that I was going to try to just focus on the positives and let all the not so positives just fall by the wayside. I'm going to dump them in the lake when we get back. Nice. Looking back, I've always had relatively rocky day ones. I've had a few where we started off with a swim and I did great, but then other years where the evening event on that day was like the sandbag wheelbarrow and I had the wheelbarrow tip and that was catastrophic and I had to try to keep myself in a good headspace. Same thing kind of happened last year with the bike pedal, catastrophe, try to keep myself in the right headspace. And so this year to not have anything catastrophic happen right away, I was able to start off on a good foot and start creating that positive momentum. Day 2. Joanne arrived late the night before, which was nice to finally have her there. I wrote in my journal the morning of day 2, Joanne is here, woohoo! Best news of all. So grateful to have her here. I feel complete. Grateful for a solid day 1. I didn't absolutely smash it, but I did relatively well on both workouts. Grateful that I also really enjoyed the day. My intention for that day was to continue to be smart, drop the hammer where I could, keep smiling, and be free to be me. Affirmation was, I am fit and smart with my body. I belong at the top. Keep riding the positive wave, celebrate the good, and leave the not so good behind. Day 2, first event, they just announced, is a ruck run. It's a 6K. I like it. To be honest, it makes me a little nervous. So I'm hoping that if I can like settle into the right pace and feel good the whole time, I'll do pretty well. And I think it's just a matter of that, like not coming out too hot. That's why I want to wear the watch to kind of pace myself, make sure I hang at a pace that maybe in the past would make me feel uncomfortable because there will probably be a few guys that are ahead of me, which in the past I would want to be leading the pack, but then for 4 miles, I don't think that's a good idea. I would probably end up fizzling out at some point. So playing it a little smarter and hanging wherever it puts me in the pack at a pace that I think feels and on my watch looks appropriate will put me in a good spot. Something that I did a little differently in approaching that workout this year than I think I would have in the past, I was realistic with myself, and rather than trying to hang with the lead pack, which could have turned into a tricky situation where holding a pace that was a little too fast for what I was capable of, I could have exploded and ended up with a pretty terrible finish. I decided to play it smart. I did just that. The workout started, everybody booked it. There were some people that were running like sub 6 minute miles to start off with, and I just kind of let them go and do their thing. And as we went, I started to slowly pick people off. It wasn't that I was getting any faster, but a lot of the guys that had started off really fast were starting to fade out. And as I just kind of maintained my pace, I was able to pick them off. So I finished 24th on that workout, which again was not amazing, but I feel like was a pretty good damage control workout. And I was pretty proud of myself for staying strong mentally and deciding to commit to my pace and holding it the whole way, even though it could have been a little bit of a panic-stricken situation not being near the lead of the pack. After a 24th place finish on that workout, I had gone from 6th down to 7th, which obviously is not good, but it wasn't this huge drop off, and I felt confident that if I had some good workouts, I could continue to climb.
How was it?
It was good, man. I feel like I played it well. I stuck to my plan the whole time. Picked a couple of dudes off toward the end. Wasn't expecting to win it once again, but I think I'm hanging right there in a good spot. Didn't blow it out of the water, but didn't get blown out of the water either, so nice. We good, fam.
We good.
Yeah.
See ya.
They announced workout 4 and I was pumped. I think it was the first workout that I had gotten genuinely excited about in the warm-up area.
Quick thoughts on the workout.
I like it, yeah. It's a full send type of workout. You gotta push that thing fast, 18 unbroken muscle-ups, push it back fast. There's nothing else to it. And that was one that I finally said to myself, all right, it's time to drop the hammer. Ran right into the sled, smooth start, and I think I was a significant distance ahead of everybody just on that first sled push. Jumped up on the bar muscle-ups, felt really confident about those. And one thing that I've actually been working on this year that I was proud of myself for executing there on the field was being mentally and physically tough in those moments when finishing a workout. There have been times in the past where pushing a sled and I'm only 50 yards away from the finish and my legs are blown up. And rather than just grinding it out and pushing it through, which I know I have the capacity to do, I would let that kind of overwhelm me and that feeling would win and I would stop and take a quick break and then continue pushing the sled. But here, my legs were burning, but I knew I was in the lead and I continued pushing that thing all the way through the finish line. I won my heat. I thought that maybe it had been my first event win ever, so I was really stoked on that. That was the first like really big positive moment of the weekend, and that swing jumped me up to 2nd place overall. With Matt receiving the penalty on the sandbag run, I was now only 2 points behind him in the lead after workout number 4. Thank you guys.
Woo! How was it?
We did good, we did good. Mary. So they announced the final event of Friday night to be a 20-minute AMRAP workout called Mary. It is 5 handstand push-ups, 10 pistols, and 15 pull-ups. That was another one where when they announced it, I got excited. I think I clapped in the stands after Dave said that that would be what we were doing. And at least for me, to be vulnerable with everybody else, I never hear a workout and think, all right, this is my workout, I'm winning this one. But if there was any that was gonna be possible to do so on, it was gonna be Mary. The workout started, and one thing that people have said that I am known for is coming out real hot. Usually it doesn't last. On this one, I didn't feel like I came out too hot on that. I was very aware of the fact that I needed to try to maintain a steady pace because it was a 20-minute workout. But for sure, you can only do 5 handstand push-ups, 10 pistols, and 15 pull-ups so fast or so slow. So what I tried to do was crank out the handstand push-ups, kind of go right into the pistols, and before I started the pull-ups, take a quick breather, maybe chalk my hands if I needed to. And as the workout went on, I started to find my rhythm, and I realized that coming off the pull-ups, I could go immediately to the handstand push-up, and there was no negative to that at all. I was not gonna fail 5 handstand push-ups. Coming off the wall, I could see that as Matt and I were kind of duking it out, the pistols were where I would get a little bit of an advantage on him every round. I would finish my 10 and be 3 or 4 reps ahead of him going into the pull-ups. And it was funny, the first time that I broke the pull-ups was toward the later rounds. I wanna say it was like round 20. I decided, all right, I've got a little bit of a lead here. At that point, I was believing that I could win that workout. I knew that we had 2 more full days of competition, so I thought if I can save myself from having to do less sets of unbroken pull-ups, it might save me from getting really sore for the rest of the competition. And on round 20, I broke it in half. That was when the crowd went wild because Matt had just started, so I've gotten 8 done. I come down, he jumps up, gets 3 or 4 done, and I realized that when he got to 3 or 4, if I jumped back up and picked up from my 8 or 9 that I had done, that I would stay just ahead of him enough to be able to continue maintaining that lead. And so that happened a few rounds, and the energy in that arena was insane. The volume of all the spectators as little moments happened. There were many, many moments of these ups and down roars that I heard from the crowd, and the biggest one of all, as we finished the workout, there were 30 seconds left, I think, before I went back for that final set of handstand push-ups. I did the handstand push-ups, cranked out my pistols. I knew that Matt was a few reps behind me, and I actually thought that if I finished the pistols ahead of him, that I would have the workout won. Luckily, just because there were a couple seconds left to like close it out, I jumped up and did 2 more pull-ups. But as I finished that second pull-up, I let go of the bar and I kept my hands in the air because I knew I'd won the workout. And the response from the crowd was I was being pulled in to the crowd. Thousands and thousands of people were 10 feet in front of me, roaring, all on their feet, all supporting me, all cheering all of us on. But I felt like as I walked toward them, it just got louder and louder, and I was overwhelmed by gratitude. I remember putting one leg up on the finishing platform and kind of resting my head and elbow down on my knee and just like really trying to soak in that moment because it was so powerful. I spotted Joanne in the crowd. I just saw her and was overwhelmed by that gratitude of her and our love, and I said, I love you, up to her in the crowd. And then I got brought over for the interview.
I did knee after doing my knee all weekend. I was walking back with my good friend Chandler after the last event. I said, man, I really wanted to win. He said, hey, you're knocking on the door. And I think I just busted that door down.
That was probably one of the most memorable and incredible experiences of my CrossFit career. It was my first event win ever, and it couldn't have come at a better time. Yeah, it was awesome. I'll never forget that.
Thanks, guys. Thanks, guys. My main man, what's up?
What just happened?
Oh, dude, euphoria. I don't know. I just feel so good. I can't even explain it, describe it, but I'm reveling in it. Feels good.
Nice.
Keeping it up.
See ya.
Congratulations.
Guys, thank you.
That was the catalyst that sprung me up ahead of Matt for the overall lead.
What happened?
Noah won Mary, took the lead overall, and that was pretty cool.
I realized midway through the workout, very subtly in the back of my mind, wait a second, I think if I beat Matt here, I'll take the overall lead, which was exciting, but I didn't want to let it affect the way that I was doing that workout. So once I'd finished the workout, had taken the overall lead, I was handed the leader jersey, which was a white shirt and a pair of red shorts. That felt good in itself. It almost felt like a pleasant surprise. Like I tucked it into my bag and wanted to hide it and only like secretly share it with the people that I loved.
Want to see something special?
Yeah.
Can't tell anybody. Is it white? Yeah, and red. It's gonna look so good with my white, red, and
First time since 2014.
Stop.
I wore the leader jersey in 2014 for a little bit. I didn't get to keep it for the whole weekend, but I wore it for a moment in time. It's been 5 years. I got it back.
How's it feel?
This time I'm gonna try to keep it. Feels really good, man. It feels really good. I know the weekend's not over. Only halfway there, but it feels good to be so like in my zone and just doing my thing. Let's go!
No one in particularly. I think that he had the breakout moment of his career this weekend when he went toe-to-toe with Matt Fraser, and I could see it in his eyes that he wanted to let Matt go. Matt Fraser surged 3 times. Noah Ohlsen held Matt off 3 different times, which is, Noah's had that moment before, only to fail. So the fact that Matt surged and Noah kept him off for 3 different occasions and then he won that event was, I think this is one of, if not the most critical points in Noah's career as a competitive CrossFitter.